Have you ever started something out of curiosity, and that something became a stepping stone to something next and something next and something next? And along the way, you kind of learn a whole lot about yourself? Well, that's been this podcast. And today we are celebrating episode 150. Woohoo! Can we just take a moment and celebrate that? Because most people never make it past episode 8. Yep, there's something called pod fade. So many people get excited, they dive in, they start their podcast, and then they stop, they fade out. But here we are. I'm still here. I'm still here. And it's been so much fun looking back at this journey and how I've landed here. And more than anything, just the excitement in my heart and soul to still do this every week, mostly every week. But today we're going to dive in and talk about this journey and the power of starting, the lessons I've learned along the way, and just the gratitude for each one of you. So grab that warm cup of coffee and let's step forward. Hello, beautiful Redlow women. How are you today? It's Terri here, your coach and biggest cheerleader. I'm here to put a little bit of inspiration in your day. Welcome to the Redlow Women podcast, where we empower midlife women to reclaim their confidence, rise higher, and step boldly into their next chapter. And we do it together. I became a midlife entrepreneur after overcoming my own self-doubt to start this podcast, write my book, and coach women just like you. And I did it all in my 50s. I knew I wanted more after navigating my own life transitions, overcoming some really hard things, and trying to figure out what was next. As I did, I decided to help you do the same. So grab your warm cup of coffee or step into your favorite tennis shoes and let's step forward together. Let's go. So let's dive in and talk about just the power of starting something, right? There's so much power in just listening to that whisper in your soul, that nudge you might feel, that flicker, that flame, that whisper that gets louder and louder and louder, and just diving in and doing it. I had no idea what would happen with this podcast. I just started. I was taking a course, and many of you have probably heard this story, where I was encouraged to just do a 2-minute trailer. So I sat in my car with my iPhone, my plug-in headphones, and the record button on my iPhone, and I just recorded. I recorded this 2-minute episode. Yeah, it took me a couple hours back then, but I did it. I just did it messy, and I did it scared. And what was most interesting in that was what I learned about myself. I didn't hate the sound of my voice. In fact, I kind of liked it. And I liked being able to just talk to someone on the other side of that microphone. And I told myself, if my message, my story, my encouragement can touch one life, then I've made a difference. And that was the goal. And along the way, I've met so many amazing women, and just helping women step forward with their life and encourage one another to know what's possible. So I want to encourage you today, first and foremost, to start. Listen to that whisper in your soul, something that's guiding you forward. Lean into that curiosity and don't be afraid to do it. If you love it, awesome. If you don't, that's okay too, because you've learned something about yourself. But you never know where that path will lead. So start. Number 2, the second thing about starting is that, as I shared in the intro, one small step always leads to the next. This podcast episode, one episode has led to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 150, and here we are. Coaching can lead to that one client that you make a difference in, and the next, and the next, and the next. Starting courses can lead to helping one person and growing to the next, and the next, and the next. Showing up and speaking creates impact. You touch one life, and then more and more and more, right? Writing that book, one word, one chapter, becomes many chapters and it becomes a book. And that one DM that you respond or that one post you do, you never know whose life you're going to touch. So just take that courageous action and step forward. You never know where it's going to lead. Number 3, podcasting has taught me to trust my voice, to lean in. And this is where I'm the most authentic and most real. I tell you this all the time. It hasn't been about the microphone. It's been sitting behind here, just talking to you, having a conversation, and believing in my voice and my message, and that it actually matters. And I say in every podcast episode, you are seen, you are heard, you are loved, you are valued, and you belong. And I say that to myself too. And in this journey of doing the podcast, I've come home to myself. I've found myself. I found my truth. I've found the courage to step forward and speak up and share who I am, share the journey of all the messy things I've been through in 61 years of my life. And it's been a joy and a gift. And I want to encourage you too, to step forward and to find your voice. This podcast is about helping you reclaim your confidence and embrace your own voice and your vision, to define your path in midlife and to lead with courage and to own who you are now. And it's exhilarating, it's empowering, and we all learn from each other. So what am I celebrating? Yeah, this is number 4, to be persistent and consistent and to be tenacious, as I say in my book, Step Forward, to step into those tenacious tennis shoes. Don't quit. Keep stepping forward. Success isn't flashy. It's actually really, really hard work. And it's just being consistent. It's stepping forward with repetition. It's showing up, especially when it's really hard. It's working in the dark when no one sees you. It's moving forward when you're in tears and you want to quit and you don't know how to move forward. It's finding those coaches and mentors to help you move to that next level. It's waking up at 4 a.m. with a new idea and being excited and writing it down. And it's staying up late and sussing through the really hard things and persevering. Yeah, that's a lot to celebrate. You just keep going. You don't quit. It's that resilience to rise up and keep stepping forward. Number 5 is celebrating how far we've come, right? Because every single step you make is a step forward. It's a step further. And we never know how far we've come until we pause and we look back. And I talk about this in my book, Step Forward, too. This is something from Dan Sullivan. This is called standing in the gap. We have to look back to see how far we've come so we can measure. And today, as I've reflected back and looked over all my episodes, I'm proud of every single one. And I see how messy I started. I see some of the messiness with some of the titles and the topics, but you know what? I don't care. That's the growth. That's the journey. And to see now where I am in these last 50 episodes, there's huge growth in these last 50 episodes. The interviews I've done, the topics I've chosen, the topics I'm diving in and talking about, they're deep and they've got meat, they've got depth to them. And wow, what a gift. What a gift to look back to see where I've started and where I am now. And that's what I want you to do today. Take a moment and pause. Look back at how far you've come, that business you've started, maybe that book idea that you wanted to write. It's on your computer or stashed away in a drawer somewhere, but maybe you finally have the courage to pull it out and work on it. Take a moment and pause and celebrate that. Or maybe it's a healing journey that you've been on for the last several years and you've done the hard work when no one sees you, but you know what you've done. Take a moment today and celebrate how far you've come. See where you are now, raising your children, your marriage, your relationships, wherever you are, celebrate it. Celebrate all that you've accomplished today. We often don't do that enough, and I'm guilty of that. Number 6, like I shared, it's just the power of showing up when no one's watching, right? It's doing the hard work in the dark. Recording the episodes that I didn't post or share, those ideas and just sweating through what's next, where am I going, what's next for Redlow, what's next for my business, how am I helping people move forward, right? It's doing the hard work when no one's watching. That's where the growth happens. Yeah, that's the growth. As my friend Katie Jolly, who has a book, says, growth happens in the dirt. And it's really true. Growth happens in the dark. Growth happens in the dirt. When we're doing the work, we're in the messy mud in the middle. It's when we do that work that when we finally rise up and burst through, right? And reach for the sun. So I want to encourage you to keep working. Honor that you're doing that work when no one's watching. You're not looking for the credit. You're doing the work because you believe in what you're doing to create impact. Number 7, something I've learned is just honoring the women that I've had on this podcast by creating a platform that gives them a voice. I've met some amazing women, and what a gift to have them show up and share their journey, how they've stepped forward, how they've started again, how they've started over, how they've started their business, and how they did it, or that other hard thing that they overcame. I've had women come on here and talk about what it's like to be in recovery, what it's like to overcome depression, what it's like to overcome a traumatic brain injury, what it's like to lose everything and start over, to lose your marriage, how to rebuild relationships, family, and your business, how to start your business. So it's been awesome. I've met some amazing people. So you have to go back and look at some of these episodes because I've met just normal, everyday women like you and me who have stepped forward and done some really amazing things in this season of life. Number 8, I've honored myself by leaning into the vision of this podcast. And as some of you know, this started as Hello Redlow. Then I changed it to, I think, Stepping Forward Midlife, then Stepping Forward with Terri. And so I've gone back to Redlow and called this now the Redlow Women Podcast, Stepping Forward with Terri Mullen. And the reason is because Redlow came to me in the night. It's older spelled backwards. It's actually now an acronym that means reclaim, embrace, define, lead, and own, which is my mission to help you step forward. And Redlow represents the midlife woman who's been through hard things, who's raised her children and now stepping into the second season of her life. But she realizes that she's still young enough and has a lot to offer. And what is it? It's a journey of self-discovery, of rediscovery, of realizing that we still have a whole lot of life left to live. And what do we want to do with it? What impact and legacy do we want to live? Right? So that's the journey. And renaming it, Redlow, was reclaiming me also, reclaiming my voice. I know it's quirky. I know it's different, but that's what I love about it. It's different. Who else is going to have Redlow, right? And that's the lesson, stop waiting for it all to be perfect. Honor yourself, honor those quirky names. It might be a harder climb for brand recognition, but I don't care. I kind of think outside the box. I want it to be different. When I changed the name of Redlow, there was a part of me that just wilted and I got sad. I really did. And so just talking about Redlow makes me come alive. And hopefully you feel that on the other side of this microphone too, because it's a mission. It's a rally cry. It's something I want you to become. We're all becoming. We're becoming Redlow. We're stepping forward and owning who we are now in this season of life. So that's the lesson. Instagram, Spanx, Zappos, Harpo, Google, they're all names that weren't really anything until they became a name. So if you lean into quirky, awesome. That's all part of this, is honoring who you are, using your voice, and being true to who you are. That's what makes this different. In the sea of the AI, we have cloning now, cloning our voice. So I just am all about leaning into who you are and being real, being authentic, being yourself, being quirky, being different, be outside the box. Yeah, that's how you stand out. All right, that's my soapbox. Number 9, something I've learned is that when you do this work, these podcasts, it's yours, right? No one can take that from you. This is a legacy that lives on. There's a podcast library. People can actually search your name, the author. It's like a book, I say. They can search the title, and they can search keywords that might be in your episodes, and they'll come up on Google. And these never disappear, unlike social media that you put a post up, and if people don't see it in 24 hours, it just kind of floats around in the ether until the algorithm decides it's going to show somebody that post. But the podcast episode, it lives on a shelf and people can access that at any time. It's kind of cool, right? So to end, I just want to share, I'm grateful. This is number 10. So thank you for listening in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for following along on this journey and growing with me. And I hope these episodes touch your life in some way. I hope on that drive or on that walk or wherever you are sipping coffee that you feel inspired each episode that you listen to. That's my goal, is to lift you up, encourage you, and remind you what's possible. Remind you that you're amazing, that your voice matters, that your ideas matter, and that it's never too late to step forward and start. So some of the most popular episodes, I just want to share that and just give a shout out. I went back and looked from 100 to 150 what have been the most popular. And number 1 has been Building a Thriving Business in Midlife with Heather Shaw. Super cool interview where we talk about her brick and mortar store. She's the first person I've ever had on that did a brick and mortar store, and it was really a powerful session listening to her journey to do that. I grew up in an entrepreneurial family with a brick and mortar store, so really fun to hear her journey and what that's been like, and that it's never too late to do this. And then she came back actually, and we talked about menopause. She has a whole other business in her business. Within her business, she helps women just get healthy with their bodies. And so she talked about it's not just hot flashes, and she unpacked the whole misconceptions often of menopause and what actually is really going on. Another really, really, really powerful episode. Then another really popular episode was episode 101, From Marriage to Divorce to Remarriage with Annette Newcomb. Really powerful episode. Number 3, episode 119, Embracing Change, Why I'm Bringing Redlow Back. That was a really popular one, and I love doing that one because it's all about standing in your truth and really honoring your voice and who you are. Then something that surprised me was episode 118, reflections from 2024, what worked and what didn't. That's a solo episode I did. Number 5 was 144, 3 things I learned when progress feels slow. Basically, how to step forward with your business and keep going. It's all about persevering in that tenacity. Episode 115, really powerful. Another interruption with Chrissy Lomax. It's a story of surviving breast cancer. And wow, that one really, really powerful. She's an author, also a rock star in real life, and she also is a personal trainer. And she actually was my personal trainer when we ran half marathon. She was a marathon trainer back then. So anyway, that's a really great episode too. Number 8 was episode 142, The Power of Communication with NLP, that's Neuro Linguistic Programming Trainer, Lee Bowen. That one is full of lots of juicy golden nuggets. I highly encourage you to listen to that one. Number 9 is episode 121, Why Midlife is the Perfect Time to Start a Business. That's a solo episode that I did. Then number 10 is episode 116, Heal Your Inner Child and Build Stronger Relationships with RTT expert and therapist Tatiana. I can never say her last name, but it's with Tatiana. It's amazing. Listen in. It's really good. And then another popular episode that was really fun was the interview I did with my husband. That's episode 145. We talk money. We have his business, my business, and our business together. I help him with his Investing Simplified course that he's right in the middle of actually right now. And so we talk about money and investing. Really, really great interview. And the final couple that would just really encourage you to listen to that surprised me too, single episodes. Is it time for a hard reset? How to reclaim your confidence and purpose midlife. And then episode 122, 18 entrepreneurial paths that can change your life. That's a really fun one too. And that actually ranked up really high. And one final one I'm just going to throw in for good measure is episode 103, How to Think Like an Entrepreneur. All right. So those are some fun episodes you can go back and listen to. I highly encourage you. Those are just the top ones, but there are other amazing episodes with some incredible women that I've interviewed. And interestingly enough, the older podcasts actually also do really, really well. But I wanted to focus on these, the 100 to 150 and what I've learned along the way. So enjoy, listen in. I want to encourage you just to believe in yourself. It's never too late to step forward. If I look back and go back and tell my self, even when I did this 4 years ago, I do exactly what I did. I just start, and I'm proud of myself for that. I'm proud of myself for taking that courageous action and just diving in and doing it really, really messy, because it's been really fun to see where it's led and what I've learned about myself along the way. And more importantly, the amazing women that I've connected with and met as well. And if you want to start a podcast, reach out and DM me. This is what I do. I love it. I'm so passionate about it, and I'd love to help you. So keep stepping forward. Know that you are seen, you are heard, you are loved, you are valued, and you belong. And side note, in the show notes, if you have any questions, submit it. I now have Dear Redlow, and you can just submit a question to me on email. I'll answer it here on the podcast. All right, keep stepping forward, keep listening in, and remember, you are seen, you are heard, you are loved, you are valued, and you belong. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you have a few key takeaways that you can apply to your life. And if you don't mind, take a few moments and leave a review that lets other women know that we're here making a difference in your life and theirs as well. Until we meet again, God bless.